So this is Math 105. Let's put it up there. And this is 8/16/2018. So I gave y'all a handout. The major point to chapter 4, the name of the chapter is banking. I don't really think they did a whole lot of banking in this chapter. But it is what it is. So mostly what they do in here is reconcile the checkbook. It's up to you. I wasn't sure what we'd get working. You could go into chapter 4, well, you go into the homework. That's where these come from. If you want to see how good the online book looks versus this, which would be interesting to know. There's wheels on this chair and it keeps rolling around. All right. So when you're doing a checkbook reconciliation, so here's what I would recommend. Number one, account for every number. We could say amount because this is money. So make sure that you do something with every number, even if it's decided you don't need it. Because just because a number is there doesn't mean you have to use it. But you need to look at it and make up your mind whether you need it or not. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. The next thing to concentrate or always do is ask the question. Which I usually use the word side, and by side I mean the bank or you, because it's your checkbook. Well, it's somebody's checkbook. Let me see what all works here. We can change this. How about, does the bank or let's just call it the checkbook, because it may not be yours. Which side does not know about a particular amount? And I'll show you what that means here in just a second. Okay? So let's work one here. Of what I gave you here, let's just start with the word problem 4-4. I'm not sure if you got the old time book, the answers to the odd exercises are in the back. I don't know if the printed copy that y'all have answers on. I typically assign the odd ones, but every once in a while I'll do an even one. So you might check on that. So let's look at 4.4. Usually I try to work the even numbered, as examples. So let's look at 4-4. The World Bank forecasts growth of world trade to be 3%, up from 2.6% in 2014. 3% growth is pretty good. This change has caused Galapagos Islands Resort to analyze its current financial situation, beginning with reconciling its accounts. Galapagos Island Resort received its bank statement showing a balance of $8,788. Its checkbook balance is $15,252. Deposits in transit are $3,450 and $6,521. There's a service charge of $45 and interest earned of $3. Notes collected total $1,575. Now, they keep throwing this whole concept of notes collected in here, but they don't tell you what these are until several chapters in the future. Suffice to say, if it says notes collected, that's something that the bank took in and put it in your account. So if the bank took this money in and put it in your account, do you know about it? No. See, so that's, go back to this question, you know, who knows about it? Who doesn't know about it? So that figure there is going to go on the checkbook side. So, let me do that. Let's see what else we have here. Outstanding checks are 1021 for $12.60 and 1022 for $7.14. U.S. dollars. Help Galapagos Island Resort reconcile its balances. Now, they've improved the formatting of this in the online book, but I just do it like this. And for some reason, I like to always put the checkbook on the left. And the bank on the right.
Are we doing that on this paper?
You can. I had to copy this out of my copy of the book, which had the answer, so I used Post-it notes and covered up the answer. So I don't have the answer either. So we better get this right. So here's what we can write down. What's the initial balance that our checkbook is showing? Look down those numbers there. What's the initial balance of the checkbook? 15,252. Okay. Now what was the bank statement? Okay. So that's where we're starting with. Now let's go back and carefully read the problem. The World Bank forecasts growth in world trade to be 3%, up from 2.6 in 2014. Well, this is interesting information, but it has nothing at all to do with how much money Galapagos Island Resort has in the bank. Okay? So, but you need to read it and say, no, that doesn't have any bearing on this. So we can safely ignore that. So let's see, we're going to analyze our situation. Galapagos Island received its bank statement. We got that. Checkbook balance, we got that. Deposits in transit. Okay. What do you think a deposit in transit is? What do you think? They're on the way to where? On the bank. So, who does not know, which side doesn't know about this money in the mail? The bank. So we put that over here. So let's write these figures down. Transit, $3,450, and it's a deposit, so I'm going to put a plus on it. 6,000. The other one is 6,521. So these are deposits. Now again, we asked the question, which side knows about this or doesn't know? Because when we sent these in, we wrote them out in the checkbook, didn't we? So checkbook knows, bank doesn't. So we put this on the bank side. Okay? There's a service charge of $45 and interest earned of $3. Now, which side does not know about the service charge? The checkbook. The bank knows it charged $45 for something. So 45 goes on this side. Is that a plus or a minus? It's going to be a minus, isn't it? What about the interest earned? Which side knows about it? Which side doesn't know about that? Still going to be the checkbook, isn't it? So $3. So that's interest. Is that a plus or a minus? I think that's going to be a plus. It says interest earned. You got to read all the way. Oh yeah. Something. Usually interest is something you pay. Every once in a while we earn some.
You know what I found out?
What?
Most kids these days don't even know how to write a check.
Yeah, it's a problem. They don't know how to write. The next thing says notes collected total $1,575. Now, I told you here's what the deal is. These notes are like, I can't remember what chapter they're in. They're promissory notes. They went to the bank. Okay, so the bank knows about that, but the checkbook doesn't. So we're going to write down $1,575 over here, and that's going to be a what? That's going to be a positive. All right, outstanding checks, $1,260 and $714. I assume when we wrote these checks, we put that in our checkbook register. So which side doesn't know about that?
The bank.
The bank. So we need to write those over here, don't we? $1,260 and $714, and those are going to be minuses. So these are checks. And let's see. This was a note collected. So this is service charge. Almost got in the way of my minus sign there. All right. All numbers are U.S. Have we accounted for all the figures? All the amounts? I think we have, haven't we? Now, let me see if I can find a calculator. I should have one on here somewhere. Here you go. Where's the EXE file? There it is. See, I've got a virtual calculator. Yours might look a little different, but it's not that much different. Okay? If you don't,
Is it on here? Our virtual calculator?
no, we could actually, if I think about it, I'll get somebody to put it on there for you. You're still going to need something at home. You can use your phone, or you can go to the start menu down here in the corner. See where I click there? You can use that calculator there. It's just not as handy as the graphing one. So anyway, here's what the graphing calculator will do.
Well, I'm going to get the graphic calculator as soon as my cooking utensils come in, because
Okay.
I don't want to have 3 different freaking financial aid things, charges.
So I'm going to start out with the 15,252, and I'm going to go down the list here. There's a subtraction, 45, and then there's an addition of 3, and another addition of 1575. So here's the beauty of this graphing calculator. I can look there and see I've got all those numbers. Okay, press enter, and we get 16,785 over here. Now, if you're wondering why this come up to be money, I've got this one set to do 2 decimal places, which is kind of handy. I'll show you how to do that. It's kind of handy most of the time in this class. Every once in a while, you need to see the 3rd decimal because rounding is taking place. You need to see what it is. For most things, 2 decimal places, we're dealing with money. So now let's do the other one. 8,788 plus 3450 plus 6521 minus 1260 minus 714. All right, I can check my numbers because I can see them. And guess what? $16,785 on this side too. That's what we do.
Yay. I'm doing it with my by hand.
Yeah, you can, the way I wrote it down with the pluses and minus just kind of scattered through there, it makes it a little harder if you don't have a graphing calculator. One of the many reasons I like the graphing calculator.
So they come up with the same balance then?
Yeah. And if they don't, you messed up somewhere. Well, see, here's the deal. This checkbook register should be an accurate reflection of what you have in the bank. Okay? Because, you know, you wouldn't want to say, well, I'm going to buy something for $20,000. Because there's not $20,000 there, is there? Okay? So, it's kind of important to know how much money you have in the bank. Now, you can see here that there are reasons why things might not be the same, but when you get your bank statement every month, that's when you need to sit down and make sure that your checkbook register agrees with the bank. Okay? Because you don't know, those bank people might be stealing your money.
Another one went to the bank for 25 cents.
25 cents is 25 cents.
That's what she said.
Yep. All right, that's the process. You want to buzz through another one? Let's do. I'm going to get myself
Word problems.
a new sheet. Well, I don't know if you call these word problems or not. Let's do 4-6. I think I assigned 4.5. You can work that inside a Blackboard and see what you get. And I don't know what y'all's looks like. I don't know how you enter the answer, or I don't know. Maybe we'll worry about that next time. We don't want to overdo ourselves today, do we? Oh, okay. Local banks charging $250 each month for returning canceled checks. I wonder if that's per check. Huh. The bank also has an $8 maintenance fee if a checking account slips below $750. Okay. Donna likes to have copies of her canceled checks for preparing her income tax returns. She has received her bank statement. Oh, the returning the canceled checks, I would assume that's $250 a month. Okay. When I read canceled checks there, I thought non-sufficient funds. Sorry, I wasn't reading close enough, was I? Yeah, NSF, that's a whole different thing. Okay, now we're back on track, or I'm back on track. She has received her bank statement with a balance of $535.85. We have interest. Get charged for the canceled checks and the maintenance fee. Following checks are outstanding. We got the amounts. Deposit of $765.69 is on the way. All right. So let's see here. I like to put checking on the left. It's just a habit. So that's the 80694 number, isn't it? Okay. Now the bank, their statement was $535.85, wasn't it? Okay. So now let's start at the beginning here and make sure we account for all these numbers. So $250 for returning canceled checks. Now it does say that Donna likes that, doesn't she? So if there's a charge for returning canceled checks, which side doesn't know about that? The checkbook. So we can do a minus 250 here, because that's a charge. It also says that she's going to have to pay the maintenance fee, doesn't it? Okay, so again, which side doesn't know about that?
The checkbook.
That's right, checkbook. So that's $8, and that's going to be a minus. Okay, and you can take your pencil and mark through these amounts as we go and make sure that you count for everything. Okay. Donna received $2.68 in interest. So where's that go?
The bank's on.
Well, the bank's what give her the interest. So the bank knows about this.
So the checkbook doesn't.
So the checkbook doesn't. So we'll put plus 268. Okay. All right, interest, cancel checks, maintenance. We've got that in there, don't we? Following checks are outstanding. Now, which side doesn't know about these checks? The bank. So we've got a minus 121.16 and a minus 106.30 and a minus 210.12. Boy, these checks just kill you, don't they? And a minus 64.84. Okay? Now, if you want to keep up with these are checks. So this is canceled. Is there one L or two L's in canceled? This is the maintenance fee. This is interest. Okay. Are we done? No. There's a deposit. Yes. And it actually tells us here that this deposit of $765.69 is not recorded in the bank. Bank doesn't know about this, does it? So this goes over on the bank side. $765.69, isn't it? So this is a deposit, which means it's a plus or a minus. Yay, we like pluses. Okay. So have we accounted for everything? I believe we have. Which one? Can't hear you.
I'm still trying to get 6 down.
Okay.
Sorry.
We've got these big air handling units in here, and they make a lot of racket. It's very annoying. All right, let's add it up, see what we get. Oh, by the way, let me do this while y'all are getting ready here. I can actually take this. I think I got to copy this. Take a screenshot. No, that wasn't what I wanted. Clipboard. So I can actually put what's in the calculator on the sheet where you can see what I did. So let's do this. 806.94 minus 250 minus $8 oops, plus 268. Everything I like about these graphic calculators, it's easy to make a correction. So I got 799.12 on that side. So let's go over here now. 535 85 minus 121.16 minus 106.30 minus 210.12 minus 64.84 plus 765.69. I got the same thing on each side. Y'all get the same thing?
Yes, sir, 799.12.
Good deal. Well, that's the way these work.
So
Read
you gotta
carefully.
decipher 'em.
Yeah. Read carefully. Account for all the numbers, including the ones you don't use, because you don't necessarily use every number, but you need to ask yourself the question, do I need to use it?
So that's like that 3%.
Right. The 3%, we didn't need that. And then you just look at every amount and ask yourself a question, which side doesn't know about this? And that's where you're going to write it down. And then after that, you just identify whether it's a plus or a minus. Okay? And then total them up, add them up. So, I put these on the test. Should be pretty easy points, isn't it? Well, now I think in the homework in Blackboard, I assigned a few of these. We'll see. Why don't y'all go home and see how that works, and then next week we'll talk about that. Check over the weekend. Hopefully I'll put another chapter out there you can at least glance at, so you'll have some idea what I'm talking about when we go over to class.
Did we have to do anything with that chapter 3?
I might print out some like worksheets or something, and just to make sure y'all know something about. What happened there? I created a test folder and linked it to chapter 3 just to verify I knew how the thing worked. So I hid the link in Blackboard. So apparently inside of what they call this? What is it? Smart Book. Inside a Smart Book, it still thinks it's there. So that's why it's showing up. I'll have to do a little figuring on, Again, I've never used this one before. So we'll see how it works. Okay? So, sun's still shining when we go home. Y'all be careful.